Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today's April 17th, 2019, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the major economic events of the day, starting out all day today, okay, really having OPEC meetings are happening. Now, OPEC is the organization that represents the petroleum producing countries and exporting them. So very important, should affect the price of oil for sure. We're taking a look at that in just a second. And then later in the day, 10:30 South African time, yearly CPI numbers coming out. Now, this is an important inflationary number that's coming out. Last night we had the New Zealand dollar had a CPI number coming out, and it did a shake and rattle the markets. Okay, so it is an important number. You need to know that it is coming out. Now, later today, monthly CPI number coming out of Canadian dollar. And lastly, from GBP, Governor Carney will be speaking, okay, on behalf of the Bank of England, and that's going to be at 3 o'clock South African time. So a lot of news coming out today, some of it more important than others. The OPEC meetings is very important, and the CPI, yearly CPI for the GBP is very important as well. Harder to look into the monthly CPI and think kind of what Governor Carney is going to say. So those two, I would say, just be aware that they are coming out and they may affect the market. Now, looking at the markets, looking at the Forex symbols, Aussie dollar struggles with breaking out of resistance. And we saw that euro kind of falter by that trend line. We're going to take a look at that as well. Now, looking at the indices, Dow Jones struggles to break higher, and DAX is on its highs, okay? So, the Dow Jones is trading very close to its highs, kind of like a mixed bag yesterday. It wasn't across the board that there was buying, but the banks are still very strong, which is very, very positive indicator with the markets. Looking at commodities, gold broke on the lower side, trading at 1370-ish level this morning, and this is what I was thinking about yesterday. It looked like it was going to break support, and it did. Oil rallies back to the top of the range, and that's what we want to see today, how much the OPEC meetings are going to affect the price of oil, because oil has had a significant rally from $40 to 62-ish, 63-ish dollar a barrel, okay, over a $20 rally for this year. So it is kind of important to look into these meetings and see what's going to come out. Lastly, looking at the stocks, Netflix rallied yesterday after the number came out and kind of caused the market to rally as well, but mostly the bank stocks were strong. So that's really what's carrying the market higher. But let's look at today's trading and see what we can expect. So we're looking here at the Euro USD at a 4-hour chart, and you can see that we're really just hovering around this trend line, not sustaining above it, but not breaking below it either. We retraced down to previous resistance, subsequent support at 1278 and bounced off of it. We're trading at 13 flat, 113 flattish right now. So it's in a tight range because it's 20 pip range. However, I would like to see it actually kind of revamp itself. So this really may be an opportunity to be trading between this 1320-ish level and 1270-ish level. Okay, it is a tight range. Okay, it's a 40 pip range. However, it may still see itself breaking out. Okay, as the market has doing a little bit better, okay, in the equity side. Now, looking at the GBP USD, we're still very, very weak in the GBP. Okay, so maybe the CPI number, if it's a little bit encouraging, it could carry the market higher. I'm not sure, because this has really, really been, like I say, really weak. I mean, it's setting up a wedge formation right there. Okay, if you could see it on a 4-hour chart, that is a nice wedge formation. It usually facilitates some sort of obscene move, either the up direction or the down direction, as this consolidates towards the end of this area. So with that said, I do expect a breakout in either the upside or the downside. Just be aware that it is setting up this wedge formation. So very important to note. Now, looking at the Aussie dollar, like I mentioned before, it's struggling with this 71.90-ish level. It just bounced above it right now this morning. So with that said, we're looking at a 1-hour chart. Just got to sustain this rally. It's got to sustain its rally, and it has. Okay, we've had a nice little rally, as you can see, okay, from these lows. Okay, and it is pushing higher from the 71.94. So this may carry the dollar higher, carry the other currencies versus the dollar higher as we continue making this correction. So very important to take note, as this is getting stronger versus the dollar. Okay, we haven't been above this area for a long time. We've been consolidating in this area for quite some time. So keep that in mind. Now, looking at gold, this is what I was talking to, trading at 1278 this morning. It breached it, okay? It breached that lower 1293, and I expect it to make a further correction. Okay, I'm not sure if it's going to happen today or subsequently in the week, but with that said, 1278 is a significant level for it to sell off to from 1310-ish level just this, few days of trading. And so with that said, we still have some momentum on the downside that we can continue selling off to. 1270 is my next real support level, and the next real level is 1240. So just be aware of that. Now, looking at oil, we're trading right at that resistance. Okay, we're looking at a daily chart, and so we're just give you a view of this. Okay, it's still in an upwards trend where we went from $42 up to $64 a barrel, and we're just hovering with that right now and just being a little bit challenged. Okay, we got challenged several times before, right there, okay, right there. Okay, so this doesn't really imply that it's going to sell off. However, they want to keep the markets a little bit soft. Okay, as the price of oil, they've taken some of the output and decrease some of the output in order to sustain the prices. So with that said, I really pay attention to what's going to happen today with the OPEC meetings, because I think it will affect the markets as well. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, we're back on that 26,454-ish level. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. So we have this alley-oop this past week, okay, at this support level, 26,138. This did look like it was going to break further down, but didn't break it down. Okay, it kind of faked you out right here at 26,000. Now, optimum place to actually buy it, and then rallied to 26,456. That's 500 points within a week. Now, I'd like to see this continue going up. Okay, now there are several things that are happening in the markets that we don't see. Some of the trade relations between the United States and China are finally getting settled, and it looks like it's very positive, and the markets want to react positively to it. So if that all fruites, I believe that we will continue breaking out higher in the Dow Jones. Very, very, very important. Now, looking at the DAX, not a wink, okay? This thing is strong, really strong. Look at that daily chart, okay, on its highs and making, so we are hitting a little bit of a snag here at 12,133, a little bit of a resistance level right here, previous support. So, if we do retrace a little bit here, it's natural. Okay, but if it does break above this 12,200-ish level, 1250-ish level, we can definitely see it go up to 12,500. Okay, so just be aware of that, as that may still frustrate itself later today. Now, Netflix had a beautiful day yesterday, really breaking above its resistance level. Don't have it set up here in the chart, but really a very, very nice layup. Okay, because it broke above its rally as it continued, with that information coming out, as the earnings report came out, bounced off of its support of 1349 and traded at 359, excuse me, as that continued. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, I didn't mention this in the previous review, had a nice rally yesterday. Very, very nice rally. Now, it's trading, in a very look, to say it's easy to trade Bitcoin, it's not easy to trade, okay? But it developed itself a nice support level at 4,900-ish level, 988, let's call it 5,000, and bounced above it. We're trading right now at 51.72, so this is pretty much the ranges, okay? So it's at the top of the range right there. It needs to sustain itself, needs to continue its upwards momentum. Let's see if we do get that. And I think that if the Dow Jones rallies, the Bitcoin would rally also, okay? It's making a tremendous comeback from our rally earlier part of April as it continued rally up. So this is something I really want to see break out, because I think that it is the future. I do believe in it, and it's something that will just have to test time in order to come through. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.